Welcome to Jack and Janky. Ryan here. You're labbing all night, all week actually, for my first deck profile with the Jank deck. Shit, 3 of my sleeves are not correct. Whatever, fuck it. Y'all figure it out now. So, it's a dragon deck. Starting with the monsters. Let's bring the monsters out. Let's get the monsters going. 3 blue eyes. Alright. 3 red med, kinda obvious. Best dragon in Edison. Here we go, here's the spice. 3 Malefic, blue eyes white dragon. If you don't know what he does, he needs a field spell in order to stay alive on field. You can't normal summon him, you have to special summon him by banishing a blue eyes from your deck specifically. There can only be 1 Malefic monster on the field at the entire time. Luckily in Edison, there's not like you're going to run into other Malefic monsters, so you're not going to be locked out of this card. Also, other monsters I control cannot declare an attack while this is face up on the field. And again, it pops itself if there's no field spell. So, it kind of sucks when your opponent Regeki breaks them in your battle phase, but, it's okay. It's kind of like a beefier Cyber Dragon, because you could special summon it, it eats a bottomless, and then you thin your deck by banishing a Blue Eyes, because Blue Eyes is kind of just a vanilla. Obviously, if you end up getting him on board from a red med, then, because he's engraved, then that's great too. 2 Light and Darkness Dragon, just kind of negates a lot of shit. And you'll see why. 1 Yamada, either set him or summon him and attack. You'll see when I get to the spells and traps, mainly the spells, like what I'm thinking and why I have him. 3 Totem Dragon. Well, if you don't know what he does, this is I should have double sleeved this. Missing my last super rare copy too. So let's just look at the common here. Just gotta own my disgracefulness. No, if I control the monsters and only have dragons engraved, I could special summon him. He's like a much worse Treeborn, but the positive is that I could then use him as 2 tributes for tributes of a dragon. So 2 tributes for Yamada Dragon, 2 tributes for Light and Darkness Dragon. If I needed 2 tributes on Blue Eyes. But yeah, so reborns himself in standby phase, which is pretty sweet. And then he gets banished afterwards. So that's that. Now a little bit of spice, something you don't see very often in Edison. 3 Hardened Arm Dragon, got the secret rares. Come on, fella, come on. Yeah, so I could pitch the level 8s in hand to special summon him. And you'll see again. So that way, if I do have any of these as like dead draws, unfortunately, Mada's a level 7, not a level 8. But 2 of these, they could be dead. I got 3 of these, they could be dead. Or 3 of these could be a little dead. So between the 8 level 8s, I decided to run Hardened Arm Dragon instead of Trade-In, which is more common in Dragon Turbo. But I think this has a pretty sweet effect. If I use this to tribute summon for level 7 or 8, or even a red med at level 10, it can't be destroyed by card effects. So Mirror Force, Bottomless, Torrential, Regeki Break. It'd still be targeted like with Karma Cut, or Phoenix Wingwind Blast, or like D-Prison. So it's not a total out, but it covers, half. Raikou doesn't do anything. So it nullifies half your vulnerabilities, I'd say. And it's still a dragon. And then 2 of the kind of just random dragons to get me to 20 monsters. Wyvern for engraved to special summon red med, and then Kwakimiro to. I've even thought about maybe siding this just for all the frogs and plant matchups. Doesn't really do dick, but it stops the gores which will really help me push for the OTK. This could go on the side. I've even thought about maybe running a Genesis Dragon instead in its spot, but not sure. So those are the 20 monsters. Now for the spells. I don't want to start with the spice so I don't forget, but here we go. Cold Wave helps OTKs. Offerings of the Doom. Target a face-up monster, destroy it, but skip the draw phase. The Book of Moon. 2 Shrink. Future Fusion, because of course, even though Konami wants to bend us over backwards, but we're playing by the real Edison rules here. A Foolish, to send either Wyvern, to send a Red Med, if a Wyvern's already engraved, to send Totem. Yeah. MST, staple. Now, I don't have Heavy Storm because you'll see Terraforming, Mausoleum, my skilled spell package to keep the Malefic Dragon alive. Also, pay 2k, have a Light and Darkness on board. Like, that's great. Pay 2k, set your spells and traps, and then swing in with your Mata Dragon. So, you know, refill the hand. You know, that's pretty dope. That's why I'm actually siding heavy. You know, again, some of these things can be changed. I've been building this deck with a lot of different iterations for the past week, and now I've finally settled on this. I feel like it's a little more streamlined, and yeah. But of course, I still got to branch off from an efficient deck. Instead of running defensive traps, I decided let's go Inferno Reckless Summon. And my thought process behind this was because, you know, I got the Foolish and Future Fusion to put Totem in Grave. So, and I run 3 totems, right? So 3 totems in the standby phase, boom, bring them out. Then use Inferno Reckless Summon. I could get the rest from deck or graveyard. It's pretty sick. The other target is the Hardened Arm Dragon. So, again, if I special summon one via red med effect or his own effect, then I could special summon the rest from hand or deck. Now I have 3 monsters on field that I could use the tribute, because that would be the problem. His effect is you need to tribute summon for level 7 or higher in order to get that can't be destroyed effect. So you need this plus another. So okay, sometimes it'll work where Totem gets special summoned in standby, then you can special Hardened Arms, so now you get 2, and then you use both Hardened Armed and a Totem Dragon on field, you tribute summon them, and then you can normal summon your Yamada, normal summon your Light and Darkness Dragon, something like that, or even your Red Med, of course. But why I felt, you know, so you have those 2 3-ofs, making those 2 3-ofs, which make Inferno Reckless Summon much more, you know, not dead, we'll call it, more of a valid target. So that's 6 of your 20 monsters, or 6 out of your 40 cards in deck. But then on top of that, that's why I decided to run the Shrink, because I felt like, well, and honestly, Offerings of the Doom could go out. I just wanted to have like a spot removal in the main deck because I didn't run Exploded Dragon. Spoiler alert, that's in the side. But why I like the Shrink is that, you know, if I want to dodge Bottomless with Red Med, boom, shrink him. Now he's at 1400, gets around Bottomless, and then I can still keep him on board just for the turn, and I get the special summon, and it just... then, also, if I can end up chaining Shrink and Inferno Reckless Summon together, which that may not come up much, but imagine if it does, shrink your Red Med down to 14, chain Inferno Reckless Summon, now you have 3 Red Meds on field. Like, I'd take out the Offerings of the Doom, put it in the side, play the 3rd Shrink, and just increase my chances of that actually happening. Because once you get 3 Red Meds on board, that's good. It's GG. Like, I can't imagine, especially the Quackimiro, like if you set it up right, it should work pretty fucking well. And the Book of Moon here is because if you chain the Book of Moon to Inferno Reckless Summon and you chain it to your opponent's face-up monster, now they can't special summon the other monsters because it doesn't check the attack. I think it is. That's the reasoning behind it. Because you need to have 1500 or less attack, so if it's booked, you can't check that it's 1500. Or, you can't check the name. It's one of the 2. I'm kind of guessing, but I think it's that. So that's what I was thinking. Both these are good quick play. And to further explain, girlfriend's texting me, why I decided to go Cold Wave, because, okay, and I thought about running Call of the Haunted so I could do all these like traps and draw phase and standby phase. That way I kind of set up my board before I Cold Wave in main phase 1, which of course, okay, are you going to Bottomless or Torrential when I special summon the, well, you can of course Torrential the Totem Dragon in standby, but you can't bottomless him. So right there, that's like it's a way to get monsters on board before main phase 1, allowing me to use Cold Wave. You know, it could be smart to run Gold Sark, but because there's a lot of bombs and a lot of, you know, with Red Med and Future Fusion and, you know, Cold Wave. Did I say that already? I don't know, I fucking suck my dick. Anyway, so the thought process was, the downside with the Cold Wave is I can't use Mausoleum, but that's okay. In my mind, that's okay, because, again, use this to special summon, and that allows me to then normal summon my Red Med, and then its monster effects, and from there I could, you know, Red Med, special summon a Yamada, refill my hand. Red Med, special summon a Blue Eyes, or Red Med, special summon Hardened Armed, and then whatever. So it seems pretty seamless, but obviously there's some drawback with using Cold Wave if I don't have a setup field, and I would have to use Mausoleum then to normal summon like my level 8 by paying 2,000. But I think the way to play this is you avoid that happening, which I'll do some gameplay. I'm going to post that as well. So deck profile there. The spells are pretty much done. I think I explained it all. Oh, well, mostly. So the last reason why, again, Cold Wave instead of Heavy, because I don't want to get fucking Starlit Roaded and whatnot. It fucking pisses me off. Like I said, I do have Heavy on the side. Also, I wanted to run, like I said, I could take out the Offerings of the Doom to run the Heavy, or the True Nade to give me 3 back row removals to really fuel the OTK. But I want to play this deck, this version of the deck a little bit more to feel it out. You know, unfortunately, Offerings of the Doom is a face-up monster, so I can't, can't get rid of the Raikou. I gotta see if there's another quick play spell card that allows me to just target one monster. I know there's like tributes. There's that non-quick play spell card that allows you to discard a card to sacrifice a monster on field. Tribute to the Doom or something like that. Oh good, I forgot to double sleeve this as well. Let's just do that right now. They're not commons, but they're not secrets. They're just supers. So this is again the other bomb, because with Malefic you're banishing Blue Eyes, with Red Eyes you're banishing Dragons. This banishes once it gets used once it gets special summoned from graveyard, and then it leaves the field, it gets banished. So like, you know, what do you fucking do? You could special summon a 2-star. That's not a big deal, but the big deal is I could use this, bring him back, and then use his effect to his effect of, you know, can be used as 2 tributes to tribute summon a dragon type monster. So it's recursive. Obviously returns are just a great card. Then the 2 legacy for consistency, and then 3 reckless greed because I'm a scumbag for consistency. I don't know if maybe I should cut down or cut out 1 or 2 of the legacies, because the Yamada allows me to refill my hand in like a much more efficient way. And maybe that's what I do. Maybe I take out 1 of the legacies to add that True Nade to like let that Yamada play go through. But I mean, I've only played 1 game on Dueling Book against another Jank Morphtronic deck, and it was nice hitting the draw power, I'll say that. Though it was just the recklesses I hit. But yeah, that's kind of the thought process. Being able to manipulate, play my power cards and monster effects before main phase. That way, Cold Wave goes off. You know, maybe that's a little too niche and I need to just balance it. But then after that, you know, he just negates a lot of shit. Sucks against frogs, so obviously I'll side him out. But yeah, oh man, I really gotta sleeve these fuckers. I think I think where I would have problems, obviously heavy back row decks, and you'll see that's why I'm siding in Primat, and that's why I have the Heavy Storm to get rid of them. But I think it's pretty easy to get Mausoleum on board with the terraforming and the draw power. That way I could easily get Red Med. One thing that could slow me down, Absolute Zero I think is going to be a problem. That's why I put the Offerings of the Doom in. But I'll walk you through the extra deck here. The extra deck here is the monsters, Prime Mat, like I said, good against GBs too, you know, biggish body, and with Mausoleum, pay 1,000, only 1,000, and now you get a 2,400 guy on. You know, still obviously a problem for Caius, but everything's a fucking problem for Caius. Oh, I forgot to put the third Exploded Dragon in. There should be 3 Exploded Dragons. So right now my extra deck is only 14, but the third Exploded Dragon, 2 Soul Release, could be suspect. I don't know. I think it just kills kills Forgs, and I like that. Hurts value a little bit. They have to get their premature. You know, hurts Lightsworn and Christia Sworn. Fucking Christia Sworn. I think Christia Sworn fucks this deck up. Another reason why to run Offerings to the Doom. Lightning Vortex. You know, just kind of, here's the heavy, like I was talking about. Kind of some generic good side deck cards. The 3 My Bodies to stop the Raikou not in damage, to stop GBs, to stop JD, to stop Dark Arm, to stop Royal Oppression. I like this because it's versatile against your monsters and your Royal Oppression. And they pay the 800, you pay the 1500. So yeah, you lose 700 more than them, but now you can continue with your red med play. And yeah, then again, this could be like a Trap Stun, which is probably more conventional, but I went with just 2 Battle Stoppers against to stop like the GBs and decks that could really get rolling, mainly GBs, and like banishing Stardust. I mean, this doesn't help the Stardust, but this is just, you know, if they see my Recklesses game 1, they probably won't expect real back row game 2, maybe, or you know, it'd be 50-50. I could always do some mind games and keeping Reckless in game 2, then finally siding these in game 3. And then Royal Oppression, Starlight Road, you know, for Icarus Attack and all that bullshit. And like, you know, this could maybe go up to 2, depending on the matchup. But maybe I'll keep the 2 Exploded Dragons. But I like the Exploded Dragons at 3 because it is a Inferno Reckless Summon target. So yeah, I don't really know how to side with this yet. Like, do I side out the 3 Inferno Reckless Summon down to 2 and just lose consistency? But that's kind of my thought process with the deck. And I have 1 Dueling Book replay to put up so far. But I'm going to play 1 more before work today. Alright, man. I got time to go then. Thanks for listening, guys. I feel so loved. Bye-bye.